B&B Equipment is here for all your excavation needs. Contact B&B Equipment, 224-6727. A contractor here for you. That's B&B Equipment, 224-6727.
Innovation. It's right here. Avera St. Mary's Hospital keeps care local for you and your family, offering comprehensive care that has earned 4 out of 5 stars by the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services in hospital performance and safety. Avera St. Mary's world-class care is further supported by advanced technology, 2-way video e-consults, 3D mammography, and a state-of-the-art birthing center, so you and your family don't have to go anywhere else, because innovation lives right here in Pierre. Learn more at avera.org/news.
Slumberland Furniture invites you to stop in and check out their newly refurbished mattress and bedding section, now titled Sleep Solutions. Slumberland has really pulled out all the stops in this area with a selection of memory foam, innerspring, or hybrid, and exacting descriptions of their many choices, plus newly added enhancers to complete your sleeping experience. And don't forget, great specials as well. Slumberland Furniture's grand opening of their Sleep Solutions area, now at Slumberland on the Truck Bypass in Pierre, and check out slumberland.com.
As we welcome you back here and back on YouTube at KCCR Sports, apologize for that broadcast completely just ending right then and there. But the Governors win it 43-0 over the Douglas Patriots. John Wickler alongside Greg Dean. As Greg, a good win for the Governors. This is exactly what they needed here this evening to try and pick up get that big win. After last week's performance, I think all the coaches will probably be fairly happy with how things went.
Yeah, and I think you'll probably hear Coach Steve Steele talk about the fact that there were a lot of positives tonight, but I think also that there's going to be a fair amount of teaching moments this week too. So I think that the Governors will look forward to a good week of practice here in the coming up as they head down to Yankton coming up next week. And that we talked about. I mean, that's a game that probably has a little bit of a rivalry factor going into the fact that Pierre and Yankton have played some very physical games over the last couple of years. And so I think any time that you go to Yankton, go down to Crane Youngworth Field, go down. Yankton is a very football happy town, and so it's going to be if whoever wins that game is going to earn it. There's no doubt about that.
And the Governors outgained the Douglas Patriots 321-71 here this evening. It was 189-49 in yards at the halftime as the Douglas Patriots were down 41-0 at the break. Pierre opened up a couple of scores, and one was a big 55-yard punt return by Jaden Wiebe that gave the Governors that lead of 14-0, and they just continue to add to it from there.
And I think for the most part, the Governor defense came to play tonight, and they, other than that first play of the game where the Governors gave up that 43-yard run to Peyton DeWitt, then after that, the Patriots really didn't have much going. They didn't allow a single pass completion tonight. What Douglas was able to get for the most part after that first play of the game was really just some opportunities, primarily for DeWitt once they were able to get him to the edge on a variety of different plays. And in the second half, it primarily revolved around Peyton DeWitt on the direct snap. And so kudos to the Governor defense. I think they did exactly what they wanted to do tonight. Governor offense, lots of big plays, back into that big play mode that they had in the first couple of weeks of the season.
Yeah, offensively for the Governors, 188 passing yards for Lincoln Keenels, who led the way for the Govs as we have our players of the game. And Lincoln Keenels will take the mic first here for the Govs. So first off, Lincoln, congratulations on the win. You're now 3-1, but do you feel like this game went for you guys felt a little bit better than what it did last Saturday against Sturgis?
Yeah, I think so. I think we really overlooked Sturgis, and then going into that game, we just weren't ready to play them. And then this game, the whole week we were all prepared to go. So I think we came out and put it to them. So.
Yeah, and you had a lot of time back in the pocket tonight, it looked like, and you were able to go through your progressions. We talked about the fact that at halftime you had already hit 5 different receivers, and so maybe talk a little bit about the time you got and the line play that was playing out in front of you tonight.
Yeah, linemen, I guess, did really good tonight. They really gave me a lot of time in the pocket to just make my decisions. And with that, my receivers, they were open. I guess I just made the pass and they would score. I mean, just with that, I think we're going to be a very successful football team.
You end up having 66 yards rushing on 7 carries, and we saw that at the end of the game last week where you rushed 2 in for a touchdown. But then here tonight, a little bit more in that run game. Is that something that you guys and the coaches have talked about, getting you more involved in the run game going forward?
Yeah, I think a little bit. I mean, once we came out in this game, we came out and scored 2 or 3 touchdowns to start, and we wanted to just slow it down, see if we can get some rushes and take the time off, I guess. So, I mean, in practice we've been working on just like a lot of running with me and with Brock Mosier. But, yeah, I think we've been preparing for just a lot of running if our passing game's not there or if we succeed on a lot of our passing games. So.
Yeah, and I think that running game obviously gives you more of a balanced offensive attack, and so teams aren't able to lay 7 or 8 back in the secondary to clog off your wide receiver routes, and so they got to respect the run, and we've talked about, John and I've talked about through the broadcast, that you're probably not going to set a lot of rushing records this year, but you are a good enough running team that teams have to respect that run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, as long as our line just blocks, and then we get some passes and rushes, teams have to be disciplined and play both our rushing and passing game. So, it's just going to open up a lot of run plays and a lot of pass plays for us.
You guys now have Yankton next Friday back in Yankton. It feels like it's almost coming a home away from home 3 times in the last 2 years. But they're probably going to come in there. They owe you one from the state semifinal last year after you guys owed them from week 3 of last year. But what's that feeling having to go back down to Yankton again now that this game is over with? What's that initial feeling going against Yankton?
It's a long drive, but I think we're all ready to just go down there and bring it to them and try to beat them again. And with that, sets us up in good position with the rest of our year. So,
all right.
Congratulations again, another win, 3-1 in the season, and we'll see you next Friday down in Yankton.
Thank you very much.
Lincoln Keynoles, as we will pass along to Jack Merkwan, who, Jack, unfortunately you're not on the same length anymore of catching a pass and going for a touchdown and getting 99 yards receiving on 2 catches and 2 touchdowns. However, you still finished with 2 touchdowns tonight. Those 2 grabs for you, 14 and 25, They look easy, but you ran a good route to put yourself in an open spot, correct?
Yeah, I'm going to speak for all of us receivers, but we know that if we get open, Lincoln's going to find us, and on top of that, give us a good ball. So it really just makes our job easy. We just got to get that route good and get open, and it's going to be there. So.
And we'll talk to Kate Kaiser here in just a second, but all 4 of the touchdown passes were kind of similar plays in the fact that at least from up here, and correct me if we're wrong, but looked like your slot receivers would go and clear out, and then both you and Cade on your respective touchdown passes really came back across the middle on a post route, found a lot of room in the middle, and thanks to the time that the offensive line gave Lincoln back to go through the progressions, you guys had a ton of open space in the middle. Is that kind of what you saw up there?
Yeah, our slot receivers would pull that linebacker out there covering, and when we come on that post, we're usually open, and if that guy comes with us, then that slot receiver is going to be open. So.
And again, and we talked with Lincoln about throwing to 5 different receivers. You make a couple of catches, but that's the fun of it. Is that you probably like to make every catch, every target goes right to you. But you see your teammates with a lot of success. You see those guys, with Kaiser with 3 catches, you had 3 catches. Brecken had a catch off of Kaiser's pass. Brock Mosier had a grab. Matt Hansen had a grab. Zabel had 2 catches. I know we mentioned it before, but it's a lot of fun when you go out there because you feel like you can get that target every single time you go out for a route.
Yeah, it's super fun just sharing that experience with everyone. It makes it a really fun environment when you're all having fun, and I think that kind of just keeps us going. We can all do the same thing, and we all do it good. And we can always count on our backups to come in and do the same job, so that's a plus for the team. So.
Congratulations on the win. Good job. Now 3-1. You get Yankton next week, and we'll see you down in Yankton.
Yep, thank you guys.
All right.
Jack Merkwan, as we will pass it along, and we'll have now Cade Kaiser, his first chance to come up here and talk to us after the game. And Cade, you made a terrific catch back in week 1, your first touchdown grab against the Harrisburg Tigers. But here tonight, a little bit easier on those catches. But you caught 3 passes for 62 yards and had a touchdown. Talk about that last play, the 49-yard or the 49-yard catch from. For you, what did you see as soon as you had that go route? What did you see?
I really just saw open field because that cornerback was slow off the ball, so I went by him, and Keenholz put up a ball that was a playable ball, and I just couldn't get my hands around it fast enough, and I was on top of on the cornerback. But I mean, as we're wide receivers, so we're supposed to be playmakers, and we give our best effort most of the time to make sure Keenholz connects with us, and he does a really good job putting the balls in good spots to where only we can have a chance to make that completion. So
Then you got called on to do double duty tonight. I mean, not only starting as a wide receiver, but then coming on in relief of Lincoln Keenholz in the second half, playing the quarterback position.
Yep.
Maybe talk a little bit about your comfort factor back at that quarterback position, because we saw you a little bit last year in 1 or 2 games, and you certainly have the tools to step into that role. And so maybe talk a little bit about your comfort factor back at the quarterback position.
I'm the starting quarterback on JV, so I have a really good feel for our play card and what routes we run. And as the backup quarterback, you just got to make sure you fill the expectations of not just being a backup. You have to go out there and prove to everyone that I'm not a backup. I can just go out there and compete with the whole team and give our wide receivers a chance to make plays on the football. And I've had quite a bit of experience back there, so I'm not nervous back there. I'm comfortable. I mean, it helps when my line gives me plenty of time. I have time in the pocket to just relax and make a good throw.
Yeah, and you're confident in that, and you've shown that in the receiver position as well. Pretty much anything that gets thrown out there to you, you feel like you can go get, can't you?
Yeah. Whatever gets thrown at me, you give my best effort, and that's all I can do.
The receiver talking about giving most of the time. Now he's saying give the best effort all the time.
About playing smarter, not harder.
That's right. Kate, appreciate the time. Congratulations on the win, and we'll see you next Friday in Yankton.
Sounds good.
And we will now pass along to our final player of the game, Jaden Wiebe, who had the big 55-yard punt return for a touchdown. And you did it. Your back was to the end zone when you picked up the ball, right?
Yeah, the wind kind of caught me off guard, and I had to catch it behind me.
So when you first initially got it, and then you turned around, did you feel like you had a good space to start working it with, or were you kind of did you feel like you had enough room to make that play to begin with?
Well, after I caught the catch, I kind of stood there and analyzed where all the Douglas players were coming at, and I saw that I had an open field to the left, so I just took off running to the left.
And I guess that was the question I was going to ask. Is that where the return was designed to go, was to the left, or did you just see an opening and go?
The turn was probably not designed to go to the left. That's just where I saw the open field to run.
You've had the chance to be the punt returner, the kick returner as well, and first chance to taste what it's like to find the end zone in a varsity game. That's got to make you feel pretty good and probably make you a little bit hungry going into next week as well.
Yeah, that was a good feeling, and can't wait to do it again. They took me off on kick return because I can't wear number 0, I guess. But
okay.
but yeah, I can't. Next week I'm hoping to do it again.
And so once you were able to get to the corner and then turn, get to the edge, then it kind of just became a foot race once you got out there. And so, maybe talk a little bit about the guys in front of you that kind of set you up on that play.
Yeah, the punt return blockers, they do a really good job of blocking. And Noah Williams was up against a big number 67 or whatever number he was wearing, and he really manned him up and made it able for me to get outside and beat the other opponents to the sideline to make it to the end zone.
Because you went untouched, didn't you?
Yeah, I went untouched.
Yeah, that again, when you pick up a ball on your backs to the end zone and to go untouched, you mentioned with Noah Williams making the great blocks, but that takes a lot of the guys to make that job easier for you.
Yeah, for sure.
So as you guys get ready for Yankton, what's the feeling? Obviously, talk with Lincoln about that, but what's that initial feeling? Get Yankton next week on the road again.
Yeah, we're excited. Last year we went down their first game and kind of got got handed to it, and then we went down the second game and took it to them. So I'm hoping we can do that again. But we're excited, and we're going to do our best to keep the energy up in practice and all week and take it to them in the game.
Jaden, appreciate the time. Congratulations on the win, and we'll see you next week down in Yankton.
Thank you.
As that is Jaden Wiebe as the Governors, and now we'll talk it over. We'll hand the microphone over to the head man, Steve Steele. As Coach, I'll first ask about this. You pick up the win, 43-0. Effort-wise, execution-wise, are you happy with where you were from last Saturday to where you are tonight?
Yeah, I think we came out and we did everything that we hoped we would as a coaching staff. We got after it right away. And I actually really enjoyed the first play. We had a guy jump out of a gap. We had the effort, chase him down, and force him to run another play, and persevered. It didn't end up hurting us. So that was a really good thing of, it's a mental mistake being out of your gap, but it wasn't an effort thing, So we definitely took away a lot of those mistakes. We looked pretty sharp offensively. We were a little nervous at the beginning of the game. It was gusting pretty dang good out there. So we were kind of wondering, what that was going to be like throwing the ball. And really, I think there might have been the one to Cade in the first quarter kind of sailed a little bit, and then the one, I think that was to Cade too, in the corner over there kind of died in the wind. But really, other than that, he didn't really notice it too much. And, he was right on his throws today. We had pretty good protection. And I think we might have had one or two drops and a couple of really good defensive plays by them to get the ball out.
Talk a little bit about your offensive line. And I think your offensive line just kind of gets better and better every week as they get a little more maturity and a little more experience underneath them. And because of that, your run game gets just a little bit better every week. And tonight, lots of protection, lots of time for Lincoln, not only to sit back in the pocket, but you rolled him out a couple of times tonight. And I thought your offensive line really did a nice job tonight.
Yeah, I agree. They had a really, really good game. They communicated, and that's when you face a team like Douglas. Douglas does a lot of different things, on the defensive side of the ball. They move their people around. They have pre-snap motion, movement. They've got a lot of different things that are hard for offensive linemen to communicate, and that was the biggest concern, I think, coming in. And our guys did an outstanding job communicating it. And because to do all the things you just said, you've got to be on the same page with the rest of your group up front, and I thought they were tonight, and that's why they had an outstanding game.
Yeah, and, you mentioned too back at that first play of the game that Douglas and really that was that play was half their offense. The rest of the way, the net total was 71 yards for the entire game for Douglas. So to be able to overcome that one, and that's a big thing because it's pretty easy to quickly say, "Oh boy, here we go. This isn't the effort we're not gonna see this," and everybody on the team might drop their head a little bit, saying that's not how we want to start the game. But like you said, you quickly let that one go, and then you get 4 stops or 4 downs right there, and get a turnover on downs, and probably set the tone the rest of the game because of that.
Yeah, and that was a huge play, and that's what you want from your guys. They're going to make mistakes. Hopefully not one that ends up being a 40-yard gain, but everyone else bailed them out. We had some great pursuit there because he got out in the open. He had the opportunity to outrun everyone. He didn't have to make a move, and we had guys with some great effort run him down, and then they ran him down at the 30 or 25-yard line. So they did a really great job of covering for that, and then just being able to overcome it. Taking it one play at a time and being able to push him back and fight back. And then, the offense can draw from that. And, then I think we had pretty good energy on the offensive side as well, and that just continued to give it back and forth. So it was a really good game all the way around.
Let's talk a little bit about your defense. And again, I think your defense continues to get better and better every week too. And tonight holding Douglas to just 71 total yards. And really, after that first play, if you factor that in, down to just about, less than 30 yards the rest of the game. And really, you didn't allow a pass completion tonight. And really, other than Peyton DeWitt, who was able to kind of squirm his way for some yards, especially in that second half off of direct snaps, you really just shut him down almost entirely.
Yeah, and that was a big part that we tried to coach up with the guys this week was attitude, and just to have that attitude that we don't want to give them anything. And I know Coach Thorson's going to be really, really happy guy when you say there wasn't a pass completion, because that was his goal. All week he's like, guys, we don't want to give him, we felt like we gave him a lot of short passes against Sturgis, and then those ones opened up their deep shots. And he's like, well, we can't give them those short ones then. We got to play perfect, we got to do all these things. And him and Coach Lewis do a great job of preaching that. And I said today, I think that was that attitude a little bit that you saw on the defensive side of, no, no, I don't care if it's a 2-yard pass, I'm swatting it down, or I'm going to rip that ball out, where it doesn't seem like it's an important thing to get the ball out on a 1-yard completion. But to these guys, that shows that it means something, and they're taking pride in their job.
And now 3-1 in the season. You guys get Yankton next Friday. Now you can start looking forward to them. What have you seen from them? Is it anything different than what you saw from last year's team, which you saw them down in Yankton twice last year. You get to see them again down in Yankton again. I'm sure you probably you may not hate the place, but you probably don't really want to go down there again just because you went there 2 times last year. But what have you seen from them? Anything different than what you saw last year?
I mean, they're a little different. They were doing a little bit of different stuff on the defensive side of the ball, but they're a very talented group. I think this is going to be a really good challenge for us. I think they've probably got the best secondary that we'll see. I thought that was Harrisburg's weak point of their defense was their secondary. I feel like this is their strong point. And then they've got really good skill positions on offense. So, like I said, it's going to be a good challenge and a good matchup for us to see what we're made of and, if we can be up there to contend with them again.
Well, they're currently locked up with Sioux Falls Jefferson 28 all late in the third quarter. So if you can play with that 11 AAA team, even though it's in Yankton, you know what kind of quality team you're going to run up against next weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be a battle. We know that. We're not thinking anything else, and we've just got to mentally prepare for it, for both the battle and for everything that they're going to do. And I said I think our guys are very excited and motivated for this challenge, and like I said, I just think this was a great step in the right direction to kind of get us back on track, and everyone's ready to go.
I'll ask you one more question here. You got a chance to get Key Knowles out at the beginning of the third quarter. Kaiser is your starting receiver, but he was the quarterback, and you got a chance to get a lot of guys in. How important is that to get guys rest, but also get those backups a chance to get some game action here as we are basically at the midway point of the season?
Yeah, I mean, it's very important to get Cade some reps at quarterback. Obviously, you never want to consider it, but you're one play away from having to do that. And, so we want to be able to get him those reps, some game reps. So this was a good situation to be able to do that because it does make us a little bit different. We obviously still have a lot of things we can do, but he's not Lincoln. He's his own guy. So, we'd have to adjust to that. So it was good to get some reps at that with the ones as well. As far as getting with some Brock Mosier back there and him working their meshes together and some of the starting offensive linemen. So we just felt like it was a good situation to give Lincoln a little bit of extra rest, save his legs from pounding, and, get Cade some real game live reps.
Coach, I appreciate the time. Congratulations on the win. We'll talk again on Coach's Corner live from the Long Branch on Wednesday.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Head Coach Steve Steele of the Pierre Governors as they win it 43-0 here this evening as the Govs will be now 3-1 on the year. But, Greg, before your final thoughts here as we wrap things up for the evening.
Well, and I think Coach Steele probably hit the nail on the head. The fact that this was kind of the game the Governors needed and wanted coming out of last week, where even though they got the win against Sturgis, it was kind of an ugly victory. And so tonight the Governors go ahead and put 43 points on the board. They don't allow a pass completion. They only allow 71 yards of total offense, and the Governors have themselves in a good position now. Looking forward to a good week of practice going down to Yankton, and that's going to be a physical, hard-hitting game, and there's probably no tougher place to play in 11 AA than Crane Youngworth Field in Yankton.
At 7 o'clock kickoff next Friday, as we'll be on the air at 6:30 here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. So I want to say thanks to Ray Lewis back at the station, and a happy birthday again. His birthday was yesterday, so we appreciate the work that he did yesterday and today as he will pull a little extra time here this evening. But appreciate the work from Ray Lewis back at the station. Greg Dean to my right, John Wickler here signing off as the Governors. They are now 3-1 this season. They beat the Douglas Patriots. They win it 43-0 as we say so long from Box Elder.
You've been listening to Pierre Governor Athletics on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. Pierre Governor Athletics is brought to you by Avera St. Mary's, Sander Auto Parts, Bank West, Weather All Roofing, Faith Lutheran Church, Billion Financial, The Clubhouse Inn and Suites, Fording Electric, Slumberland, Kruger Contracting, B&B Equipment, Bridget M. Photography, Sioux Nation, Edward Jones Financial, First Dakota National Bank, Gales Gas, Service Master, Gateway Ford, Lincoln, and Toyota,
Purist Foods, Kathy Sunshine Properties, All Pro Towing, Pier Dental Clinic, Olson Plumbing, Lamb Motors, Midwest Cooperative, the May Adam Law Firm, Oahe Federal Credit Union, the Association of Weed and Pest, Fisher Rounds, Shane's Pharmacy, Todd's Electric, Wagner Auto, First United Methodist Church, East Pier Landscape and Garden Center, Country Carpet and Flooring, and Black Hills Federal Credit Union. Join us all season on your home for Pier Governor Athletics, KCCR, and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. This has been a special presentation of Riverfront